A warm welcome to AchieversIT. So today's agenda is all about what is web development. So no matter even if you are from a technical background or non-technical background, or if you wanted to become a Python full stack developer or Java full stack developer, every full stack developers are going to build a web application. And of course, full stack developers will try to build a mobile applications also. So my advice for all of you here, no matter if you want to build a mobile applications or hybrid applications or web applications or desktop applications, you should understand how application development works. At least if you guys are good at web development. And if you know how to build web development, then there will be thousands of opportunities out there. The same techniques and technologies and concepts can be used to build a mobile applications as well. End of the day, programmers, what is the main aim of a programmer? To build a technology. By using technology, we are going to build an applications. Those applications are going to solve with real world problems. If any application, if it is not solving any real world problem, there is no use of building that application. So here, let me talk what is web development. How does websites work? Advantages of learning this particular technologies, because even in UI also web development covers. Full stack also web development covers. Even for complete Java full stack, Python full stack also web development covers. That's the reason before jumping into the actual writing code, everyone must understand. Every day you people are using many applications like that. So at last, we will also be in a position to keep writing the code. Today there will be coding session. So you must understand history of web development. You should also understand course and project overviews. And every stage there will be a project. Okay. Once you complete HTML, you will try to allocate the project. CSS project, JavaScript project. If you guys are not learning project based, we will be out of the scope. Everyone are good enough in theory. They are good at theory, but industries are expecting practical and project-based and problem-solving candidates. So my advice for all of you guys, today, when I'm talking about web development, I'll try to take you to the live examples. Feel free to ask me in case if you have any questions. And completely, I'm going to take you to the live examples. And in terms of you people, can anyone tell me what is web development? Whether I would like to know how much knowledge that you have, fundamental, at least some general knowledge. If you don't have knowledge also, I'm completely fine. I'll be able to give you guys more info. So what kind of project on the displayed and the maintenance all over the year? And that's to work on many technology like HTML, CSS, kind of thing. But by using that technology, we have to build something which will be able to display over. Okay. I understand. Thank you so much for that answer. Guys, let me just present what is web development. Let me explain. Even today, AchieversIT is an application. Let me take one live application. Okay. Even think about it. You guys are sitting somewhere else in the globe. Someone is joining from different parts of India. Someone is joining outside of India. No matter, even if you're joining India or if you're joining from other branches, other areas, how are you going to access the content? Now it is very, very important for everyone to understand. In the olden days, if you want to buy something, or if you want to read, or if you want to gain something, or if you wanted to, purchase any products from different sources, if you can see maybe 20 years before, 1990s, before web development or technologies appeared in the market. All we need to do is surrounding nearby you, whatever the items which are possible for you to buy, you choose to buy it. Offline, you have to go to the shop. That too nearby. You cannot even from a Delhi wala, they cannot come to Bangalore to buy a product only. Isn't it? Maybe there are few products you might not be able to get it in Delhi. There are few products you might not be able to get it in Bangalore. So now, in the beginning of your career also, if you want to learn something, that is one scenario. Keep it in mind. Second scenario, if you want to learn something, and how many people are buying a textbooks? Because buying a textbook is a cost effective. It is going to involve much cost, isn't it? For each class, if you want to buy a textbooks, maybe 1 to 10, the people they have to buy a books. After +1, +2 degree, majority of the places people won't even buy the books. That is the reason engineering colleges, they used to maintain a libraries. Okay, but libraries, the advantage is, yes, without buying a book, you can go to the library and you will be able to rent your book and you can even start reading it. But the disadvantage of that approach is they will not even give it to you to take that book into your home and you cannot comfortably read it, isn't it? And you should also wait for a time until that library opens, or maybe if there are restrictions. And this is all, it is not a comfortable way of learning. That is second problem. And the third problem, even for example, if you want to search something in a book, since it is a physical book, as long as if you know more about the book, you can jump into the pages. And there is no option for you to search as quickly as possible. And it is physical book. It is difficult for you to search and understand what is the concept you want. Understand? And some books, even some author books, it will not be available in library until librarians buy that particular book for a display or maybe for reading. Then only you'll be able to avoid the benefit of reading it. So these many bunch of problems are there. That is why today why full stack engineers are more popular. The reason is this is the problems which we are facing in the real world. To solve this, all the books and all, even you can see there are a lot of tutorials came into the picture. And in fact, I'll tell you one more example. This is purely for our students we have given. Sir, I'm explaining all the platforms, live platforms. You have to understand what is web development is all about. Am I making sense? Now, instead of me explaining someone else a website, because we have a website which we have built exclusively for the students. And we have spent lakhs of rupees for this website development. So here also, see, you also can see that if you wanted to learn HTML, now this is under pilot. It is a pilot release. Guys, you can see that with HTML, you can create your own website. This is AchieversIT webpage, elearning.achieversit.com. And you can also compare many other places, many institutions, they don't have their own platform. Now, if they don't have a platform, so how do they train? Think about it. Yes, they used to say that I have a very good reputation into institute. But how can we say that it's a reputed institute? If the institute has a bunch of tools and technologies, then only the institute can even give that particular technical knowledge to the students. And this is a strong evidence that we have all the tools and we don't want to rely on anyone. I'll tell you each tool I'll try to explain to you. How these tools are going to help you and how web application will. See, today, even elearning.achieversit.com, anyone by sitting anywhere across the globe, they can access this content as free of cost. That too, we will always know this is the dummy content that we are keeping, but very soon our team is going to keep giving you the relevant content. But dummy also, see, you can also ask a question, sir, there are many platforms out there in the internet, and why to choose your e-learning platform? The information, the answer for this is, let's listen carefully. If you follow one doctor, if you go to the hospital, whatever the prescription the doctor has given, that medicine is available only near to that medical shops. Please keep it in mind. And I'm not teaching anything wrong here. So even if you search in internet, the disadvantages for you is there is a wanted content as well as unwanted content. There is a possibilities to read unwanted content which is not useful for you at this stage. See, limited learning is important, but if you go to XYZ tutorials, they don't care about your area. They care about, they wanted to give all the data, but it is that really required the content which is not important for you to get a job now. For a future purpose, why should I learn? Isn't it? That is one of the best advantage. If you follow our tutorials, anyway you are attending our trainings daily. This tutorials is matching that particular content so that it is directly, it will inject the knowledge into it. Now, this is also web application. See, today, the moment when you click, you see that when you click, so we are navigating to the second chapter. And we are teaching completely here bullet points, point to point, point to point. Even we are changing the display. We are definitely give. This is also web application. Understand, I'm giving a knowledge web application. But parallelly, I'm helping you. You need not to go anywhere for a knowledge. AchieversIT has loaded with all the tools and technologies. Why? Because this is one of the top tech-rated training institute in India. That's my point. So even if you use it, for example, this is all chapters which are there in one particular lesson. Likewise, you can also see that multiple lessons are there. As long as if I am clicking on this, you also can see that all the references, everything will be there. Am I making sense? Now, guys, we will be covering all this in your trainings. For everything, the data is here. This is also web application. We have built free of cost to our web. You need not to pay single rupee for this. This content is also free. And right after every session, you will also be getting a materials. This material anywhere online you can see. You need not to store it in your computer. This is also one of the web applications. And this one is one of another web application, so that if someone wanted to see the courses, all they can go back to there, they will be able to keep seeing all of this. Am I making sense? And city-wise also we are expanding. Even Bangalore, if someone selects Bangalore, especially only for Marthali, if they want to do it, they'll be able to select. And only Marthali branch courses. Am I making sense? So now, what I'm trying to say, if user wanted to know, you guys have enrolled for web development, isn't it? If you click on web development, and they will be able to see what is there in web development, what they are going to learn web development, all this information that we have. This is also web application. If this application is not built by our team, how users is able to access the content? Now today there are multiple people have joined to online. Now is it possible for them to access? If they wanted to understand what is this course is all about, they should always come to the nearest branch. But how many people are comfortable to come to nearest branch? Please understand. It is not the biggest problem, right? So that problem application is start solving. So this is one of the best, solution. See, the problem is, so you all must understand what is problem. The problem is all about accessing a content throughout accessing content. Accessing content. This is one of the problems. If they want to access a content, all they have to do is they must go back to the nearest branch. They have to inquire, and then only they'll be able to decide. Now, if you all can see that the person who is joining from USA, they can also access my content. The one who is from Australia, they can also join my content. And the one who is from Sri Lanka, since it is there in the internet, it is already connected to internet and the application is already built. So this kind of applications, who is going to build? That also is important. Writing a code, I'll tell you 20% of the code, if you write, 80% results you can expect. And if you are a smart kid, you will always write only 20% code. But if you are not a smart kid, if you're not training well, and if you don't know the technologies well, and if you don't know where to copy, what to paste, you have to struggle to write this particular 80% code. If you are keep writing 80% code, my God, think about it. Even if your colleagues, you are writing 20% is easy or 80% is easy, you have to decide. If you are a person who is writing a code more, then it takes time. Writing 80% code takes time. But think about it. If your colleague, if they are smart and if they are copying the code from internet, if they complete their job as quickly as possible, these guys will be promoted, they will be awarded, and they'll also get a good time. Now, it is a question for everyone. You want to become in this 80% category, or you want to become in smart category, that you have to decide. That's where I'm not even jumping directly into writing a code. Yes, there will be a coding sessions, always project. That's the reason. See, we in a day also we are giving 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours training, and minimum 4 to 6 hours practicals. That is where you see that 2 hours training, that is 20% training theory, and 4 to 6 hours practicals, that is 80% practicals. That is what our training methodology and model was. And I will also show you the evidence so that so you all will get a benefits out of our program. Okay. So any questions so far? Am I going fast, or are you guys are capable enough to pick up me? Any questions online? Team? No question. This is also one of the application bus, and to anyone contact us. So this is one of the feature. Okay. So this application is solving people to connect AchieversIT. They need not to walk in. And what is this one? This is solving what problem it is solving? Nowadays, the information is junk in the market. We have a huge information. See, you need not to invest single rupee. I'm telling you, for learning, you have to invest and you have to find out the right trainer and right mentors and right institute, right recommendations. Today, one of the bad pathetic state in India is, even if you want to get a job, even if you are super talented, without a recommendations or references, there is no job for the right people. I don't know. Even the government of India and even all the political people are playing with us. I mean, they're not releasing, even though there are vacancies in the government sectors, but they're not releasing. And even when it comes to private, at least private organizations, they're giving us opportunities and they're looting our time. That's different story. But they're at least giving opportunities for us to earn the basic needs. But I don't want you to struggle for basic. So try to explore more and gain the knowledge and start earning extraordinary incomes. If you want to earn extraordinary income, first of all, you have to learn extraordinary skills. Extraordinary skills will give you extraordinary life. If you are learning ordinary skills, you will get ordinary life. If you are just chumma, if you are wasting your time and by blaming others and by comparing others, by talking of others, and this is all not going to get you. So here, this application, how it is going to solve you people, I'll tell you, my dear friends. Even if you go to any other website, so there will be ads. There are keep on running. This ads is the one, guys, listen carefully. This is where distractions come to the picture. What is that? See, you are very serious. Think about it. And today I would like to seriously learn something. That is where your intention to search in internet. But all of a sudden, if you open a website, yes, there is a useful content, but in between, they will try to run a ads. And that ad, thumbnail, if you like, if you see Salman Khan with, and you will be confused and you will be worried. What is Salman Khan with? So the thumbnails is, I don't know, this media also, we have to, fill the media. And what sort of content that they have to show to us? Since I am learning HTML, start giving at least, see, these ads are distractions. Now today's, the major problem is distraction. And this platform will never ever run any sort of ads. We'll stop running ads and will give only focus on content. Now think about it. If I'm running ads, your focus will be diluted. And we are serious about your career. But someone else, if they say that, sir, we are giving free of cost, how do we survive? That is overaction that they will talk. But if you are giving free of cost, why do you promote yourself? Nowadays, it is a fashion. Even if you are feeding one small beggar or a bigger beggar, if you're feeding, but someone is shooting and they're uploading into their social media. What is the use of promotion? What to promote, what not to promote, don't you know that? I don't want to promote. I have given a free of cost by investing lakhs rupees for this. Boss, do you think that the server is free? The content is free? Developers are free? Designers are free? Testers are free? In fact, deployment AWS DevOps engineers are not free. And this many people, we and the AchieversIT team has paid from their pocket, the management, that they started doing this tutorials exactly free of and without any ads. That is very important. And that way also you can understand how effectively that we are helping society. Fine. So you are not paying any single rupee for this particular platform. Makes sense. At the same time, hope you understand how web works. Without internet technology, web will not even work. Now, in order to build this kind of applications, you should also have a fundamental knowledge on internet. What is that? So without the internet, no application works today. Now, the fundamentals of internet, and you should also understand basics of HTTP methods. HTTP or HTTP. So these methods are helping you people to connect front end and back end. For a full stack engineers, it is mandatory for you to understand how the presentation today, for example, all this code, this data, from where it is exactly coming and displaying here. And I'll tell you the architecture, how website works. I'll tell you the architecture. So just stay tuned. Now, guys, it is very important for you to understand. Here, I try to write one small diagram for your reference. So this is an UI. How website works and where HTML comes in order to understand, I'll just find this. Now, whether this device, this is a device, this device either it is a laptop or it can be a mobile or it can also be a tablet or it can also be smart TV. Whatever it is, so the content we must be in a position to present beautifully inside this. If you fail to present a content over here, this is all building blocks of a page. That is where to build this particular page, the very first technology that we must learn to build any application is Remember. But HTML alone is not possible to present beautiful. So by using CSS, help of CSS only, you can decorate it. It sounds like a hero or heroine with makeup, without makeup. And we have seen how with makeup we present well, without makeup we won't even present well. Now, if this presentation is not so great, think about it. If the content, whatever we have placed in this presentation, if the content is not so great, we all think that the users, whoever is coming to your website. See, this way of teaching is effective. Instead of, if I keep writing something, your concentration will be on writing and your concentration also in listening. So if I show some presentation, that is a bolder way of training. If you go to Udemy, everywhere they'll try to play with the presentation. That's where the success rate is very limited. Now, why AchieversIT success rate is more? Because our trainers will try to spend time to write character data. Character data. We are struggling a lot to train, and PPT presentation is damn easy, but that is won't even inject knowledge to the learner. But we are ready to face challenges to give a quality knowledge to my aspirants and students. Okay, fine. Now, these guys are all business users, my dear friends. We will call these guys terminologies also, please understand. This is all business. So when you are running any application, when you are building any application, end of the day, to whom you have to satisfy this business users. If these guys are happy, these guys will give a business. Otherwise, there is a lot of options now. We have a lot of options. See, generally, if you are from a village background or maybe a small town or even any area, if there is one shop is there in that area, the shopkeeper will do overactions. That is what we have experienced in our villages. And it was my bad. In my village, only one shop was there earlier. That guy used to handle for electricity charges. For example, one product cost is 5 rupees in another, nearest shop, and she will charge more, 7 rupees. When we ask why are you charging 7 rupees, she used to say that I used to go to town and I have to get the product for that 1 rupee, for electricity and maintaining the shop 1 rupee. But in 5 rupees also there is a profit. How they are looting the money, please understand us. Some of the other ways, then one day I started, shouting her, and I closed her shop for couple of days. Seriously, I educated my villagers. See, we should not even loot anyone else. Now you believe or not, that Amma, whoever is looted money from the villagers, small, innocent people, he died with some disease. Seriously, karma won't even leave anyone. That's my point. What is the point of earning hardcore money from innocence? And yes, of course, you are buying a product from a different source and you are investing for transportation and time. But already you are maintaining, you are keeping 20% or 30% margin. On top of that, why you need why you are greedy? That's why today, in today's world, everyone are greedy. And we are running behind this. This is a paper, currency. And we like this paper. But this paper works only in India. The same a 500 rupees note, if you take it to the USA, there is no value for them. And money is required for you to survive. Even I am working very hard in order to earn money for my survival. And for a safer side, I have 2 kids and my family I have to feed. Okay, I need some extra money. But why should I loot money from all the people? If I'm a looter, I don't want to teach, practical training like that. I would also record the sessions and I can even share the sessions to you. It is easy job for me to loot the money. But am I doing now? 100% I'm not. Hope you understand. So guys, here both the concepts, understand if users are happy, the traffic comes to the web application or mobile application. Now this data, if there is no connectivity between a client and server, this application is called as static application. Now types of applications also I'm teaching you. Listen, no matter, categories are different. You see that categories of applications are mobile category, desktop category, web category, progressive web category. I'm making sense, cloud category. But what type of applications that anybody full stack engineers can build is the static versus dynamic. Now it is a question, generic question for all of you. Static is effective or dynamic is effective? Ultimately dynamic. Now static means content will never ever change. And there is no much interactions. And as per the interactions, if the content is not changing, that is called static. So sounds like, maybe I ask a question to you, but you won't even answer it. Summa, you're sitting and you are staring at me. Then that is called static. That's where nowadays in a college, also in one school, in one college or even in your class. So how many people are dynamic? How many people are static? Most of the people are static, right? That's where most of the people are not getting a job. And if the static person turns into a dynamic, then only opportunities more. Similarly, yes, by using a technology, if you know only HTML and CSS, you can build only static applications that will never generate a income. For dynamic applications, you need a backend. I'm also backend is also system. For your representation, I'm just giving backend in a different direction, different structure. Let me just give backend. So next, client has to send a request to the backend, and backend will also send a response to the client. This process is known as request, and the data what we are collecting from there is called as response. Request and do not waste your time on making a notes during the class, because this is a bad practice. Yes, that is how we started, practicing from the day one. Why? Because in the colleges, we won't even record the sessions. School, colleges. That is where we practice that works in a college or a school. Now we are in a software industry. We have to use the smart tools. Now focus on my listening. After that, I'll try to share this code with you. This entire video for you only. Then again, watch my video, make a note. Then twice you will try to get a note. Now here, what happened during the class, if you are giving an importance to make a note, your brain functions more on writing notes, not listening. And we are not multitaskers. Please understand, we are not robots. And not even human, whoever do multitasking, will perform to fail. That's why we should not do multitasking. If you are listening, please listen. If you are writing, start writing. If you are writing code, start writing. This is also one of the small techniques. So whoever is making a note, please stop writing a notes. This video is exclusively for you. Now come back here. This backend can be built by using either Java. Now Java is popular. Python. Java is not only popular now, from more 3 decades, Java has created its history. And Python from past 1 decade, Python is also trending. And some people are learning Node also. Whatever XYZ, even what, so this system also we have to do. Now, guys, it is very important point. How does that application works? Now, what sort of logic here? Only business logic we have to write. What is that? Business logic. Here, what logic that we'll write? Presentation logic. Nothing we are going to write much. We should know what is presentation logic, what is business logic. Stay tuned and you'll be able to understand. Don't expect everything to understand in one go. Next, there is another important wala is coming now. This is very sensitive layer. The database. Is that? The database layer. Where the data we are storing either in the format of tables or in the format of schema. Table-based layouts, DBMS, RDBMS, table-less, NoSQL, that is MongoDB, FetchDB, Cassandra, something like that. You must understand, because if you are listening all these terminologies at very first time, which means that you are out of the world. That's the point. This is a trend in IT, boss. Sir, I'm working on non-IT, sir. How long you will work non-IT? And even if you work on non-IT, do you think that are you going to get a good promotions? And even if they promote, you will get a very less time. That's the point. That too, some people are working on mortgage. Oh my God. So they're wasting their time on night shift. But even though if anyone get an option to work in a company, if it is a night shift, my request is do not join that company, even if they pay good salary. Night shift will not now, it will not even impact now, but very soon it will definitely impact on your health. Maybe after 10 years or 5 years, You have to spend your hardcore money for an hospitals. Now that is where this Apollo, that's my point. By default, all these hospitals are really corporate hospitals are waiting for you, and you have to spend lakhs of rupees. That too, insurance is a trap again. EMI is a trap. So please try to don't waste your time on choosing a wrong match. Even if you are if you are not getting a job, the right fit, spend some time to enhance, few more skills. Definitely you'll be able to get a job. And in order to connect each other, client to server, server to client. Again, these two missions also they have to communicate each other. If these two missions are not communicate to each other, the actual data, this is a very sensitive layer. However, for a human also, what is the sensitive? Where are we storing in a human? I think brain is a storage organ, isn't it? See, boss, our brain has superpower, but the way how you use, the way how you can get. You whatever the instructions that you provide to your, brain, it will follow the same. So as I read one article, Mr. Elon Musk has written that if you feed your brain saying that I must complete this particular task within 3 days, your brain will try to help you to complete that in 3 days. If the same task, if you feed it to 30 days, then your brain also will stop. Even if you are able to complete in 3 days, since you have already feed it 30 days, so that it will try to keep postponing until 30th day comes, then only it works, it will allow you to do that. That's why what you are feeding, that matters a lot. How many ways that the data is coming to the human? How many ways? That is, see, that's completely it is the way how the data is coming. Similarly, here, the way how the data is coming to the application is also same. There is nothing new. Am I making sense? So my advice for all of you guys, no matter whatever the way that the data is coming, how we are structuring the data inside our brain, that matters. Here also how we are structuring, either table-based or schema-based, that matters a lot. If the data is not properly saved, retrieval will become very tough. That's where you must learn how to store a structured data or unstructured data. Today, however, we are feeding data to the brain by how many sources? Say even eyes also capturing the data. Now, the moment when you capture the data through eyes, that is unstructured data. Ears also capturing the data. Nose capturing the data. Mouth capturing the data. Skin. That is where all these indriyas. But end of the day, even every organ is capturing some data, but we are storing that into a database. Now, by using my mouth and facial expressions, that is called presentation. Can't relate human body also web application? Is there something wrong with that? Now, if I fail to present, now think about it. Now I'm just opening my video for online team. So if my presentation is not so great, now think about it. If I'm not presenting well, if I'm sitting, hey, hello, like this, who is going to accept it? That's the point. My presentation should also be damn good. Even no matter how I am storing in my brain, if I don't know how to retrieve, and if I don't know how to present, what to present, when to present, that is also important. So this is all very, very important. I'm stopping this video for, a good quality purpose. Video consumes a lot of bandwidth. Fine. So now you also can see here, these three systems, if they are interconnected each other, that is called dynamic application. Now for storage here, you have to use two different kind of databases, either SQL-based databases. Second one is no SQL-based databases. Now many people are not sure. They will ask, what is that? Sir, DBMS, I know, sir. DBMS is not a database, boss. SQL also not a database, my dear. SQL is a language, structured query language for retrieving structured data. SQL cannot be used in NoSQL. The name says NoSQL. Now, in the world, you must learn both of them. If you fail to understand both of them, others are ready to explain. Because today, yes, think about it, you are not talented. I am not talented. Think about it. Someone else is talented, right? If I am a lazy guy, if I'm not working hard, and I cannot even see that other people are also lazy. There are thousands of people are smart. Now, India may, as I already said, for every state, even if you can see most of the states, how many states are there in India? See, even 29 states into, for each state, can we expect at least 3 to 4 lakhs, minimum 3 to 4 lakhs. 3 9s are 27, 3 to 6 plus 8. All over, how many? 89 lakhs people. Graduates or postgraduates or educators are coming, 89 lakhs. Do you think that many jobs are there? Now, hope you understand. Are we in a pathetic state, or are you in a crucial state? We are in a very bad state, boss. But unfortunately, India, it is interconnected to the entire world because of our good reputation in the economy or many other places. And many of the countries are giving an opportunity for Indians. Now, Chinese, many places Chinese are not getting there. Because of Corona, so many countries are not trusting them. That's where we got more fractions. That is where today, even though this huge competition, there are thousands of opportunities are there for a skilled and practical. Very simple, skilled and practical. And don't ever try to say that, sir, I studied in Bilani, I studied in NIT, IIT. Only 10% of people are getting a jobs. Remaining 90%, in that 40% of the people are not even caring about the jobs, and they are just doing their forefather jobs and etc. 50% of people like you and me, we are struggling to get a jobs because of no skills. Skills are not up to the mark. So here, if you guys wanted to learn all this, first start with this guy. What is that? We are going to start with HTML. Now this is the entire history. Now I'll try to take you to the HTML. So I hope web page, static page, dynamic page, architecture, this is all called as three-tier architecture. What is that? Three-tier. How can I say it is three-tier? Presentation tier, business logic, application tier, database tier. All three systems are interconnected with each other in order to serve better data to build their applications, either web or mobile or cloud. These three systems must interconnect. Moving forward, I'll be teaching you software. As I already said yesterday, you must also be in a position to understand how SDLC works. SD, this is also very important. Software development lifecycle. Don't give abbreviations. How it works, practically you must learn. That's my point. See, the very first stage, the company will give a requirement. Then that requirement, the client is going to give a requirement, you must analyze it. Software development company must analyze first. They should decide how to build this software. This is all patterns and procedures, this approach. Analysis. Once the analysis phase is completed, the next phase is all about designing. Here, the many people are get confused. Design. Here, system design also it is important. Soft systems, the front-end system, back-end system, database design, all comes into the picture. And UI UX, graphics design. Graphics also comes here. Plus UI UX also comes here. Now, it is the biggest, many students keep asking me, designing and development is not UI design, UI UX design, UI UX development. It's completely different. Slowly we'll understand what is the differences practically while working on a project. So after designing, then only the implementation, which is called as coding part. This part comes into the picture. In the coding, again, you guys have to do front-end coding by using front-end technologies, back-end coding, including database also. Then after coding, there will be another department comes here, the testing. So in the testing, manual testing, automation testing comes. Then once the testing is done, and we have to deploy software into client servers. It's called deployment. And once the deployment is done, and we have to maintain a software. Maintenance is also important. This is how many stages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 varieties of software development stages. In this, it is important for you on which stage that you are coming. What is your stage? Coding. This is the place you are coming into the picture, but in the olden days, if you guys are aware of only this, it is working. But nowadays, even if you learn only this, it is not sufficient. You should know what is your neighbor, what is happening, at least designing. Fundamentals of the designing also important. What is happening in testing also important. This is very much needed. Next, basics of how analysis works, basics of deployment and maintenance. Every stage that is called full stack, full stack, full stack. This is what the trend now. Full stack engineers. Some places, some of the institutions have spoiled this name once. They are saying full stack, but they will not even give a full stack. We don't be in that particular trap. Full stack means the one who knows everything is called as full stack. We promised you to give a content, especially over here, we will give major content. Remaining others exclusively free of cost. You need not to pay any student. Why? Because if we charge something for analysis phase and designing phase, the cost of the course is more than 1 lakh. And that is not affordable for Indians. And we should also say, we have to give a content. Couple of places will charge for the minimal charges. Others we have to give free. That is where all our courses in AchieversIT is affordable. No cost, but if you guys are paying maybe 30K and you will get more than 30K, at least double than 60K content you will get. And I'm happy to give a knowledge. I see this knowledge in order to gain 17 years we struggled in IT. 17 plus years we struggled in IT. That is where today this much of knowledge is coming. And you ask me, sir, every year I used to learn 4 technologies, 4 to 5 minimum technologies I learned. And I have built this habit from 2012 to till today and 2024. As on when time permits, I'll try to learn at least 4, maximum 5. Trend. That is where I always been training. No company has terminated me. I myself is resigned because I have to get a good salary. No company is terminated. To whom companies are going to terminate? The one who is not skilled enough. But I am always gaining the knowledge. But my only if you want to increase the package, only one technique I'll explain. To increase the package for everyone, do not stay in a company longer time. Don't stay in a company more than 2 years. Why? Because the company wala is not your uncle, nor they are not our relatives. They are looting our time. Enough, we'll try to keep learning the concepts. And 2 years, learn the latest technologies and keep moving on. Makes sense. And after 2 years, you have to put a latest technology in your resume. You can demand for a job. You come, see, that's where AchieversIT team not only helping you now, even now also you will get a job. Accept the fresher job. Don't try to restrict yourself saying that I don't want to join for this salary, this company, that company. If you say like that as a fresher, I'm sure you are the loser. Because there is very less market for freshers. That too, they will try to ask you to go for 2 years bond, 3 years bond. They will pay you less package. But whatever it is, if it is a good opportunity, even if they pay, if they are not paying also, first get that opportunity. Once you get a job, even if you are getting less salary, and you please accept it, gain some practical experience and real-time experience. And after 1 year, again 2 years, talk to me. I have a bunch of connections. I'll show you. I have a proof. Nothing I'm not going to talk anything without. and AchieversIT as a collections, and we'll try to send your profile to the good companies and we'll try to help you. Okay. In that way also we are going to. So now focus. Now the next few days we are going to focusing on front end first. See, in many cases, parallelly we'll also start back end. Once you are good at least front end, then we can start back end. But so-called couple of places, they will try to start back end. First, we'll try to do front end or back end. We'll always do front end. Companies are going to follow like that. But why these two institutions are following? Because they wanted to try. Please, I don't want you to. If you know how front end works, then you will be able to understand how front end has some sort of limitations and drawbacks, then how front end is going to convert into connect to the back end to make that dynamic. First, without knowing static, if you understand dynamic, that's why few days after we'll start back end. And our approach is already a proven approach and it was given a lot of results. That's why we are following. So next, to write HTML code. For a front end, the first and foremost first language is HTML, hypertext markup language. See, if I ask anyone what is HTML, they started giving HTML is hypertext markup language. Then after that, then let's start. Do not ever try to prepare yourself abbreviation. Now, if you talk about HTML, so listen carefully. Here, I'm just opening this. Basics of HTML. If we start, and also introduction, CBUS. These points you can easily understand all the points. HTML stands for hypertext markup. See, it is very, very important. HTML stands for hypertext markup language. This is very important. Now, you see that markup. What do you mean by markup? This is makeup. Markup is all about makeup. Now, take an example of book. In a book, is that possible for us to give proper animations? No animations can be performed because it is a static book, physical book. But whereas coming to the web application, if it is a web, then you can do animations. You can also display that bigger screens, bigger way, smaller screens, smaller way, so that it is comfortable and compatible. Am I making sense? So that is where today nowadays, web and mobile and desktop and cloud, these applications are highly interactive. Am I making sense? Now here, in order to display the content in a proper way, without HTML, that's where you see that HTML describes the structure of web pages. Now it is not only for structure using markup. How come? So that is where I'll try to give you an example. I'll try to write a code. I'll show you the code. I'll write a code. So first, you must see, then if I write, then you'll be able to understand it. And first you understand all the bullet points. Now you also see that HTML elements are building blocks of how to create a web page, either web page or a mobile pages if you want to create. How to build this web page and mobile pages? Using elements. What is this elements? The building blocks. How? Guys, I tell you, what do you mean? If you want to build a wall, this is a block, brick. If you want to build a brick, in between the cement, we have to fix it. Then connected bricks is called as, again, connected brick. Connected brick, this is called wall, isn't it? A connected walls. Connected walls. Here there is a door. I'm just explaining like this. A connected bricks is called as one room. This is a door, if you consider, is one room. Now you see that this is all brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick, which we had. But see, think about it. Internally, if I want to do partitions, In a one room, if I want an internal partition, I'll try to use either wood. I'll use wood, and or I'll try to use aluminum partitions, or I'll try to use POP partitions. But this is all internal. Why I'm telling you the same? It relates to the development. Now internally, I'm just using the temporary partitions because internal partitions are exterior. If the interior is not so great, interior cannot be fixed with a permanent materials. Why? Because after few days, maybe I can even change my design. I don't like the design. What? See, your forefather house, you are not liking it because their architecture is different. Maybe today, if you build a latest architecture, next generation, your kids can even accept it, but your grandkids are not going to accept it. And by that time, there'll be different trend. That's why interior, you have to play with the temporary partitions. Outside, you have to go for a building. Now, this outside, to build that, we need HTML elements. Now, elements are of two types. How many types? Two types. Inline versus block level. Inline versus. I'll try to teach you guys what is inline. If an element inside a web page, I'm just giving you one example. If the element is completely blocked the entire row, that is called block level. If the elements is not blocking the row, if it is allowing one element next to another, that is called inline. In a row, if it is not blocking, that is called inline. The name suggests inline. Elements are how many types? Two types, inline versus block. Now, 80% of the tags in HTML, 80, 90 also I can say, block level in nature. And only 10 to 15% of the elements are inline. Okay, but we'll try to teach. There are few cases we may have to convert this block into inline, inline also into block. For that, we have to use CSS. I'll tell you the scenarios when are we going to convert it. That is okay. We don't want to talk everything at once. Now, I hope you understand how elements are powerful. Elements are building block of an HTML. Keep it in mind, it is an interview question. What is the difference between inline versus block? Makes sense, sir? So I'm also giving you interview questions. If you are, while watching my session, I'll try to give a session. And today's, task also I'll give you in LMS, learning management. I'll give you tasks. Every day you must also perform some tasks. Okay. So next, elements are represented by tags. Next, another concept, elements are represented by tags. These tags are of two types. How many? Single tags and versus paired. Single versus paired. Am I making sense? Now, this single tag and paired tag. I'll give you examples. break. This is a single tag. There is no closing. Then image. There is no closing part of the tag. Next, HR. There is no closing. Like that, only few tags are coming single. Many tags like paragraph for placing a paragraph content. It is a paid because it also has a start tag. It also has a tag. Now, if the person is completely new to this web development or mobile development or system development, you should understand the syntax of a tag. What do you want to understand here? First, lesser than is a symbol, followed by tag name, greater than. Next, in between, you have to place a content here. Because the ultimate goal is tags are going to, why we are using tags? For placing content only. Content is a key. Today, how people are going to give a job to you? If you are skilled content, if it is there in your brain, they will give you a job. Then after that, lesser than here, since there is no space, I'm just doing forward slash. Are you making sense? This entire syntax is known as one element. Elements are represented by tags. That statement is proven here, right? I explained, I have given an example. Elements are represented by. And if you want to build a construct a web page, if tag is not there, elements cannot construct. If element is not there, web page cannot construct. If web page is not able to construct, there is no backend. How it is interrelated, you see. The session is quite interesting, I guess. Next, let me talk about HTML tags label pieces of content such as headings. There are heading tags, paragraph tags, there is a table tag, and many tags. And slowly we'll try to teach all the tags step by step. Now, next I'm going to write one program. So the guys, you must understand editors. What is that? To write a code, you need editors. This guys will place very, very, very important. Now I am going to write a code. Let me welcome all of you guys writing HTML code. I'll try to write. I'll welcome you guys using HTML. So let me start writing HTML code. Now you all see that I'm using the editor. What is this? Editor. So next few minutes, please feel free to follow me. What sort of all the tags and elements and structure are there. First of all, the moment when you're writing a code, you must be in a position to save that particular file. So Control N is a shortcut to open a new file. If you take any editor, and Control S is a shortcut to save that. When you are saving, you have to decide where to save your project. Now I'm saving this particular project in the documents, and I'll try to create a new folder. And since it is started yesterday, I'll try to keep it 220424_M. M stands for Bharat. I'm creating a separate folder. Inside this particular folder, I'll keep saving one more subfolder. I'll try to create HTML. And inside HTML, I'll try to write welcome. Welcome.html. This particular file welcomes you. How I welcome you? By using HTML language. So now see, I saved my file name with welcome and extension is .html. Guys, listen carefully. Next, I'm using HTML. If I use lesser than followed by HTML, now the editor is giving a suggestion. Editor is giving a suggestion or not? Now, here it is a question for all of you guys. As a teacher, if I keep writing character by character, what happens now? So to every program, same structure will go. If every time if I'm writing structure by structure, then explanation will take too much time. Sometimes we have to be smart enough. Now I'm just using this C. This is the basic structure of every HTML page. This structure, you should not even keep writing. Once you are good at structure, then copy paste. Maybe before, if you are not good at structure, you start writing. Here, it is very important. First, let me welcome you. So this is welcome message. Welcome to AchieversIT is a title. Achievers IT. Am I making sense, sir? Next is very, very important. I'm writing one heading tag. H1 is a tag. And welcome to Achievers Training Institute. I'm just welcoming like that. I have written a code. Now it is the time for you to execute this code. Now here, before executing, feel free to understand few concepts. So here you must also be in a position to understand two concepts. One is here, what sort of code, what language that we have used in order to write coding, what language that we have used. We have used here HTML language. But this HTML language is like an English-like statements. What is this, guys? These guys are English-like statements. But what is the computer language? What is computer language? Binary. Computer understands binary, right, sir? But we are giving English. Now, who is bridging, who is filling this gap? That is where it is important point for all of you to understand compiler concept and interpreter concept and transpiler concept. Next, there is one more called parser. What is that? Parser, parsing. Now, out of all this, which one is using? That is very important. First, if you guys are using Java as a backend, compilers comes into the picture to compile your English-like statements into mission-readable format. If you guys are using, PHP, Python, or JavaScript, Node.js, interpreters comes into the picture. If you are using TypeScript, transpilers comes into the picture. But if you guys are using HTML, CSS, the parsers are coming. Who is coming into the picture is also interview question. Parsers. Who is a parser now? Browsers are the parsers. Who are the parsers? How many popular browsers are there? Chrome. Next, Firefox. Next, Safari. Next, Opera. Next, Edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 popular browsers are there. Any one of them that you have to use it. So now browsers are playing very important role. Browsers will read your HTML code. They read your HTML code. Finally, this HTML code would be converted into machine readable code. Behind the scenes, it is going to convert into machine readable. And this machine readable code is again turning into graphical user interface. This GUI, graphics user interface, is going to display to the end users. This is the story behind executing the HTML. And if these users, if you are not displaying graphics, if you display machine readable format like zeros and ones, these guys, even no one understand what is zeros and. Who is the father of computer? Who is the father of computer? Charles Babbage. What is general knowledge? Who is the father of C language? Dennis Ritchie. Because all the languages are derived from basically C and C++. Today you are learning JavaScript. Tomorrow you learn JavaScript. That is also derived from the C and C++. Java also. So that's why fundamentals at least is important. If you don't know, don't worry. We try to teach fundamentals. Now here, I wrote all this code, but I need a browser to execute. Hope you guys have installed any browser. Browser is an open source application. It's also an application. So now, Windows, if you guys are using Windows operating system, by default, Edge is a default browser. You can separately, Windows has given flexibility to change Chrome also as your default browser. And I would recommend you people to use Chrome because it has a beautiful developer tools. It has beautiful developer. So in the developer tool, you will be able to understand a lot of things, techniques, and different kind of libraries to develop. That's where I strongly recommend you to go for Chrome. But do you all think that every users are going to use a Chrome in the world? When you start building an application, it is your responsibility to Build an application compatible for Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Opera, and even Edge. You have to test in all other browsers. Makes sense, boss? It is very important concept. Now, let me clear the board. Now I have to execute this in a browser. I have saved it in a location. Now here, many people are confused. Boss, for writing a code, I'm writing in a bigger letters. For writing a code, you need editors. What is required? Editors are required. But in order to, where do you save? Yesterday, I asked one student, a brilliant student, can you please show me your code? Sir, my code is in Visual Studio, VS Code. Now, VS Code is editor, but somewhere you have to save it in your computer, then only you can even pull back to the editor, right? Because this is general knowledge, but he's a BTech guy. My God, because that is how our education system is analyzed. Now, writing a code, you need an editor, but storage, for storing the code, for storing, you need a drive. You have to store in your local drive. So this is either it can be a local drive or it can also be cloud. Nowadays, you can store it in cloud. When you are learning, go for local drive. Now, local drive in the sense, now where did I save? Inside my documents. But if you wanted to save it anywhere, you can save in your local drive. And you should understand what is drive, what is folder, what is directory. This is all terminologies of IT. Now I saved it in my documents. Then I started using editor, that is Sublime Text. Which editor I am using now? Sublime. This Sublime Text is an open source editor. You should understand what do you mean by open source. Open source in the sense you need not to pay any amount for using this editor. This is also software, right? Generally, if you wanted to use any software, you have to pay amount. But some of the softwares they have released under MIT license, open source. Anybody can use free of charge. That's why today, even without investing, 0% you can invest and you can gain, you can learn, you can earn crores. But if you know the technology and techniques, for that you need a mentor. And Murli sir is not a just only trainer, he's a mentor. So mentor means he know how to teach, he know how to give you knowledge and project. He also can even help you to get a job. He will also can help you to increase your package. He will also get you to generate a second income, third income, multiple incomes. And I have a very good connections in India, especially in India. Okay, so now I stored it. Now it is a time for me to execute this in a browser. I have already installed a browser. How to execute? Next question is how to execute a code. For that, right click on this file, right click on this particular file. Now the editor will give options. Editor will give options. In that options, pick open in browser. Open in browser. This is one of the options. So many people are not aware. That's the reason I'm giving step by step. Okay. So clear. I'm just going back here. Now right click, open in a browser. I right click, left click. Don't ask me what is right click. Oh my God, I cannot even train such kind of people. If you don't know right click, please don't join this session. This is not for you. And if you are in that stage, I think it is a money and time waste. Don't join and don't waste your money. Understand fundamentals. Yes, of course, I can give you fundamentals computer knowledge, which is free of cost. Request to me, I'll give you free of cost. I have a sessions. It is absolutely free. I'll give you first understand them and join them. I'm not asking you to pay for it. It is free. Cool. Now open in a browser. Now it opens in a browser. Wow. It is open, right? I welcome you. That's it. See, did I say bigger letters? Anywhere did I style this bigger letters? No. But how it is displaying bigger letters? Now I'll also add few more things. So please try to understand. I'm opening editor. Now style is one of the attributes. Now I'm going to use border 1px pixel width solid as CC gray color border I'm giving. Padding to increase the spacing. You need not to understand all this at this stage. Don't worry. That's where I don't want to talk about this. But I'll teach adding the background color. I use orange. Now if I go back and reload, now it is extra. I have styled it, right? Is that looking beautiful or previous one looks beautiful? Compare. Okay, compared to previous and current, this is much presentable. Now again, maybe the text color, if I want to change color, I can use as FFF. This is hexadecimal color code of this looks on Hover in case. Now what I can do, I am going to write few more code just for you to understand. Another way of adding CSS. Style in the tag. Type is not required for HTML5 document. Here, what is my tag name? Name of a tag? H1 colon H over. H over is the state. Next, on H over state, I'm changing background color. Let me go for sky blue. I'll use sky blue. If it is there, it will be displayed. Now you see that if I reload, now mouse over on this element. So sky blue, I think H over is not working. Let me just check what is this. H1 of H over. Yes, H1 of H over. State, it is not impacted. Why it is not impacted? Did I save this file? Let me just check. Yes, I saved it. Yeah. Now you see that it is impacting. Since it is impacting, H over of sky blue is coming, but it is, you can slowly observe this is different story. And I don't want to learn everything at this stage. This is sky blue is overridden with what? Orange. Now, guys, why? Because inline CSS is affecting first. Inline, this background color, if I remove, let me remove this and save it and go back. Reload the by default background color, white. On H over, see the text color also I'll remove. The default text color is also interview question. Black is the default text color. If I remove black color, on H over it is this thing. It is even more presentable, right? On H over again, in a sky blue color, if you wanted to change the text color, use color is a property. Sorry. Okay, jet color. And as FFF is hexadecimal color code. You need not to by head it and explain you see. Now this is more presentable, right? Likewise, you have to start generating a lot of CSS. Now, HTML, however, it is helping you to place a content using the tag. Now, I am concluding this session. If you all can see what I discussed, recollect the points. If you go back, and here, if you recollect whatever the points that we discussed in the introduction, now see that without elements, we cannot build any content. Now, if you wanted to build a content, elements are required, but elements are represented right. Now, all of them I'll try to prove. Here I am explaining. Now, see the syntax of an element. What is the syntax here? This is a root element, less than followed by HTML. Now it is very important. Lesser than followed by HTML. This is called root tag. This is root. which is also called it as parent. This is called root element. Now this root element, how many children this root has? One is head children, another one is body. Head is another immediate children, and body is another immediate children. Now inside a head, again, if you all can see here, I have a title. Title is one children. Title is also a tag. And I also have style tag. Each one of them is important. Now inside a body, I have H1 tag. Am I making sense? Now it is a time for you people to understand. Now everyone says that I know HTML. Boss, please don't ever try to say that I know HTML. HTML has a lot of them. Now if you can see inside the head, page information that you have to write. Page info. And now inside a body, page design. This, keep it in mind. We'll try to continue from the back. We'll continue. Page info, page design. That's the point. Do not ever try to write any code in between HTML and head, after head and body, or here. This is not the right place to write a code. You must follow the same code. First, what is this first line? Very, very powerful. Title is also information about your page. You have to give, see, why are you building your page? That is page information. And if you wanted to load couple of libraries and couple of code, CSS, HTML, you have to write it in. Right, boss? This is all important. Now, it is very, very important. Slowly you will understand what to write inside a page, what to write inside design. What is page info? You will be able to understand. Don't worry about it now. Title is, without a title, no one understands what is your page is built. Especially, page information is required for search engines. Page information is required for browsers. Page information is also required for accessibility devices. I'll also talk about all these guys one by one. Page information is also required for developers. This all four members, the page information is much needed. Design is required for end users, only users. Now, all these people are building to make satisfy these users. And then the user is a king because he is giving business rights. Now, that's all for today. From tomorrow onwards, I'll talk about what are the other tags which are there in HTML. What is the use of each one of the tags? How tags are converted into elements. And in detail about HTML will be continuous. This doc type also I'll try to talk. And today I'm giving some assignments. Sorry, all the assignments of today's session, you will be able to see it in LMS, Learning Management Portal. So I think, Sirisha, you got an LMS access, right, madam? So go back to your LMS dashboard. So we all will share whatever the assignments with respect to today, it will be there in your assignment tab. I'll show you how LMS is going to look like for your reference so that you all will get to know that. So let me go back. So if you all can see here, this is how LMS look like it. So our team is going to share. See, in this LMS, everyone must be in a position to understand. I think that's all for today's session. This is not really recorded.